Hey everybody, this is luckyDminor with another episode of For Player Chess FFA. Today I believe with maybe the shortest FFA game I ever played. So we have green with 1950, red with 1958, yellow with 2001, and myself with 2100 around. So red is starting, just a standard opening. I'm pushing my queen's pawn as very often. Standard opening from yellow. And the king's pawn from green. And whenever you see that, whenever opposite players open with the queen's pawn and with the king's pawn, either those or either the other two, then there's always a little danger around, because the knight and that knight do point to both to yellow king, and you have always to watch out for that if you see such an opening. Fianchetto from red, and I just move on with my pawn. Fianchetto from yellow, and green is doubling up the diagonal attack on the king. At this moment, the king is still protected by the queen and by the knight. So there seems to be no danger for yellow, except that also my bishop is attacking this pawn, and there could be a double check with the queen from here and with the blue bishop from there, and that could potentially kill the yellow king. So red is preparing another fianchetto, and I'm just moving on with my pawn. It would be stupid and false timing, of course, now to attack with the bishop, because then the queen or the other bishop or the knight or even the king, they could just take and the chance would be lost. So yellow is not seeing the danger. Maybe he thinks with another protection on this pawn, he's fine, but he's not. So green is doing the attack. And I think that's a pretty good attack. Of course, you can accuse him of teaming because he might lose his queen if I'm not doing anything with my bishop now. They would just trade queens, and that would not be good for green. But he can be pretty sure that I support him, based also on the rank that I have. Red is seeing the danger, and red is trying to at least distract me a little, or at least take advantage from my move. I could, of course, now take the bishop, the free bishop for me, but then, as I said, yellow and green would trade queens. And I was shortly thinking about it. Is it good if I win the bishop and yellow and green both lose their queens? Wouldn't that move me into a winning position, possibly? Yeah, maybe. But I figured in this case, it's better to get rid of the whole yellow troop immediately, instead of just gaining a bishop. Of course, I'm hanging my bishop here. Green can now take, and green is set up for winning. He has a queen. He is a strong player too. I already lost the bishop, but I already have 21 points. So this is also a good thing to keep in mind. Green is not taking my bishop. In this case, of course, you can accuse him of teaming again. And I'm not quite sure about it. Maybe you write into the comments what you think about it. Usually I would say, if there's a free bishop and there's no need for teaming with me anymore, why not take the bishop? Of course, if I wouldn't have attacked yellow, he would have lost his queen. So he's kind of grateful for me. And you could say, well, part of this gratefulness is to let the bishop stay alive. So please write in the comment how you see that. And here, red is doing a horrible mistake. He could have just taken my rook. Maybe he was afraid of attacks by this queen on this pawn with a possible checkmate. If I would come down with my bishop here and protect the checkmate. So if he takes the rook, my bishop goes down and queen would checkmate here. So that was possibly his fear. Therefore, he wanted to put his bishop in between. But of course, as you will all have seen, this is not helpful at all because my queen can just take, and my queen now also protects this pawn, so green can mate. So, and after only 5 moves, both side players are dead. I have never seen that before. Maybe in some team games I have seen quick mates on one of the side players, but such a quick mate on 2 side players, I've never seen that. And now in this position, of course, I can take the queen, and I will, because it's free for all and I'm about to win. And now it's just green and blue. I have more points than green. And also I have a queen and he doesn't have a queen. I have an established pawn that may promote within a few steps. So green immediately quitted. I wouldn't have quitted at this point. I would still try to get lucky and possibly let the other player make a mistake and win the game. But this is how it went. So after only 6 moves, the whole game was over. So maybe you enjoyed this short episode. Have a nice day and see you again.